kind of a bold person you are. It ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's right.
It's about stuff being exposed in your heart. And all the other disciples said the same. Verse 36. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit here, ye here, while I go and pray yonder. Gethsemane actually, literally means all press.
Yep.
Gethsemane actually means all press. The restaurant Olive Garden, Gethsemane means all press. An all press is an olive press. You take an olive and you put it in this press and you squeeze. An olive just don't freely yield oil. Listen to me, church. You got to listen with your spiritual ears here. I'm not talking about these ears. You hear with your mind through these ears. Listen to me in your mind, okay? Listen to me. Get to focus on these words, because this is your life. An olive does not freely give oil. You cut an olive open, it ain't oil. But if you put an olive under press, an olive press, it yearns oil. So Gethsemane means pressure. Olive press. But we're not talking about olives here. We're talking about your heart. When Jesus was in Gethsemane, a place, olive press, a place of pressure, Olive Garden, his heart was under pressure. God He don't put your heart, but your heart becomes under pressure where He can expose things out of your heart.
Amen.
And I'm going to prove it to you. In verse, and He said unto His disciples, sit ye here while I go pray yonder. Verse 37. And He took with Him Peter and two of the sons of Zebedee and began to be sorrowful. Why did He begin to be sorrowful? Because He was under pressure. He was in pressure point. He was in a place of great pressure. His heart, He began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Why? Because He was under pressure. Verse 38. Then said He unto them, my soul. Listen, look, church, listen. My soul. Jesus admits that His mind, His will, and His emotions are exceedingly sorrowful. Why? Because He's under pressure. Jesus, the Son of God, which made Himself a mere man, was under pressure. Even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. Verse 39. And He went a little further and fell on His face and prayed. Say it with me, church. Say it. I told you. Come on up, baby. He taught you in Matthew chapter 6 that you never say your thought. Because you take a thought by saying.
Yeah.
How I know that his thoughts, that he was being tempted, is because he prayed, saying. Look what it says. Look at the words that Jesus said, y'all. I'm not demoting anything about Jesus. I am trying to show you that He is real, that He is a mere human. And that you can't measure yourself with all these people on TV talking about how they got it going on.
Yeah.
You can't measure yourself because, listen, if Jesus Christ had to deal with this, you're going to deal with it. I'm not demeaning Him. I'm trying to show you who He really was and that you can do it. He said, if it be possible. Listen, if it be possible. Wow. He was was wrestling, he said, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful. My thoughts, my will, and my emotions are under pressure right now. And he said, God, if it be possible, let this cup, let this sin offering pass from me.
Yeah.
Pass from me. Because I'm under pressure here. And my thoughts, my heart, my will, and my emotions ain't right now. But not as I will, but thy will be done.
Amen.
He stayed there and he prayed. See, but we've been taught wrong as a church that we got to be so have it all together. And Jesus, if you would get the revelation, if you would sit down at your kitchen table at nighttime and say, God, speak a word to me tonight. He would show you through the Bible what's real and what's not real.
Yes.
The persona that we got it all together, that we ain't supposed to feel pressure, is wrong. Jesus says, Father, I don't have it together right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorrowful and I'm heavy. I'm battling here.
Yeah.
And he said, but he was so committed. What is endurance? Making a commitment to a goal during times of pressure. What was the goal of Jesus? What was his goal? Was to produce salvation for you.
Amen.
He could have quit, but he maintained that commitment in the Garden of Gethsemane under great pressure. He stayed there.
Yeah.
And he made his commitment. When he left heaven and come to earth for you and for me to die for us so we could have eternal life, he made a commitment to the Father, and he made a commitment for us.
Yeah.
That he would do it for us. But when he got under great pressure, y'all, his mind, his will, and his emotions didn't want to. Because he was mere flesh. And he got up under great pressure. And when you're under great pressure, the real you's exposed. It's okay not to have it all together. Listen to me, church. It's okay not to have it all together.
Yes.
Because you're never going to have it all together. You're never, ever going to have it where everything's hunky-dory for you. It's never going to be that way. Not until you go to the Father. Then there will be no more sin. No more sorrow. Every tear will be wiped away. Why? Because there will be no more evil. But while we're here on this earth, you're going to deal with pressure. And if you don't know how to deal with that pressure will break you. And Jesus said in the parable of the sower, you will fall away. You'll fall away. There'll be many people fall away. Because Micah, they don't know when the pressure's on, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle it. Y'all, I pray for this church, for it to grow, for these seats to be filled. And all God is doing, he is exposing me. Because see, I prayed for this. I prayed for this church. I prayed for this ministry. I prayed for that program. I prayed for everything that you see. I have prayed, and God has given it to me. And when I pray for God to fill these seats, and I pray for God to grow this church and grow this ministry and to expand it, he's going to, because my Bible says, what I believe I receive. When you pray, I understand the ability to take, to receive.
Yes.
And God has given me everything because he reminds me all the time, you asked for this.
Yeah.
You asked for this. And so now I'm asking for a bigger church, for seats to be filled, for a bigger ministry, for all this stuff. And so what I got to understand, before all that can happen, y'all, because I've gone through a period of time where I've learned, listen to me, I will admit, I have hurt more people than I have helped by my mouth.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I have hurt more people with this mouth. I have ran them off. Because when I get under great pressure, God exposes the true mark. And what he is saying, before I can fill these seats up, before I can answer your prayer, I got to expose you.
Yeah.
See, but I'm humble enough, and I'm just telling you, I'm not one of these ones that going to say I have it all together all the time, because I know that's just not true.
Yeah.
You have to listen to me. If you want to achieve that everything God has for Dave, or Heath, you have got to let God expose the real you.
Amen.
And you got to understand that, and you got to repent from that, and you got to move on. You got to let God create in you the person He wants you to become. And the only way you can do that, y'all, is you humble yourself. And you admit to God, you know what, God? I would leave you. I would. Because I don't know how to handle pressure. We've all denied Jesus. And we've all have lied to Him. You have made a commitment to Him that I'm in this thing. But you deny Christ not only by your words, but by your actions. You deny it. But you don't know how to handle pressure. And you got the wrong persona of this false person. It's like Brother Eric was teaching Wednesday night about, not Nimrod, but Naaman. See, we try to put on this persona that we got it all together. And we puff out our chest. And we ain't nothing.
That's right.
And every time you get under pressure, you do things that you regret. You say things you regret. You act in ways you regret. And condemnation comes on you like you've never felt it before.
Amen.
You feel like a hypocrite. Why? Because you've been taught that you have to be this big person. That you've got to hold it all together. When you, every one of y'all, does not have the ability to hold it all together. You do not have the ability to.
That's right.
And you can't let that devil in your ear tell you, lie to you, and tell you that you're this big, great person. Because you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
Listen to me. You know why? And I'm telling you, I just told you my life story this morning. I've just told you my past month. Pressure. Pressure to produce.
Yeah.
Pressure to build this church. Pressure to fill these seats. Pressure to get these off drugs. Pressure to make people happy. Pressure to make people see that they can live a different life for God. And I say, ooh, I got it all together. Well, I can preach good, and I can do this, do that. And God says, Marky, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. And we just bow under pressure all the time. We're just like Peter. We can act bold. We can be outspoken. But when it comes down to it, every one of y'all admit that we don't know how to handle it. That's why we're taking Xanax. That's why we're taking Zoloft. That's why we're taking mood stabilizers. That's why the devil takes all this money from you from prescriptions. Because simply you don't know how to handle life. You don't know how to deal with stuff. And your nerves, your mind, your thoughts, your wills, and your emotions run rapid on you. Some people run to a bottle. Some people run to a needle. Some people run to a pill. Some people run to another woman, another man. Some people change jobs. Some people change communities because they don't know how to handle stuff.
Yeah.
And what Luke Henderson always taught me, what he taught me one time is, wherever you go, there you are. You can change jobs, you can change women, men, you can change your towns. You can pull a Shauna or you can go to Indonesia. But guess what? Shauna Orr is still there. The problem's still there because you don't know how to handle life.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's all stand. It's all stand. Is everybody closed right?